you see ulcers, you see food allergies, difficulty digestion, assimilating nutrition, gluten sensitivity will develop. Mind-boggling, but I had to deal with all of these in my son and myself to be able to get better. And I'm still 85%. Okay, so this is HPU or KPU. Okay. Toxins from the microbes is always those toxins. They block one or more of the 8 enzymes in the production of hemoglobin or heme portion of hemoglobin. So instead of that, the body starts to produce what is called as kryptopyrole complexes. Okay? So now kryptopyroles have a natural affinity for essential minerals, right? So you have zinc, manganese, B6, arachidonic acid, molybdenum, chromium. So you see a frequency of urination, like every hour you have to go to the bathroom. And the children and the adults are literally urinating out all of these essential minerals. So this will also reduce your immune system. Okay, this is really important for the physicians in the audience. The lab clues which we see. So if you want to write it down or take some notes. Yeah, pictures are fine too. Right, so these are some of the clues that you will get, which is going to tell you that, look for KPU, and it's how do you treat it? It's very simple. Okay, some more information. It affects 300 enzyme systems. You can get musculo-skeletal and neuro-psychaitric symptoms. I think in the 1960s, if I'm not mistaken, there was a research done by a European scientist on patients with schizophrenia. And, his contention was many of them just have KPU. And he achieved a 60% recovery from schizo just by supplementing with the depleted minerals in these patients. It's hard to imagine. So yes, Lyme depletes minerals. That's why I like to have my little electrolytes a couple times a day. Okay, so spirochetes are smart, as we know. They know how to shut down your immune system. They know how to produce KPU. Okay, so once again, going over pyroluria, what it is. Okay, anytime you have stress or you have emotional, physical abuse, HPU levels will go up. Right? It can cause mood disorders, panic attacks, anxiety, depression. Okay. These are the treating protocols for HPU. Very easy. It's all just supplements. Okay. So let's look at mitochondrial dysfunction. Are there any doctors here that also treat autism? No? Okay. You do? Do you look at mitochondrial dysfunction? Do you have any tests available? No? Okay, so the belief is autism is not treatable. Yes, I mean that's the belief worldwide. So they say. So they say.
Some tests and we are positive for herpes for that.
Yeah.
Streptococcus is very, very high. It's more than 1,000. Antibodies. It's very, his behavior is very, very dependent
Yes.
on his levels of streptococcus. When we are down, he is more calmer.
Of course.
But it's still very high, the streptococcus levels.
Maybe we will discuss actually.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. Yeah, in detail.
Sorry, by interruption.
No, I'm glad.
Who treats the autism, I can say in Lithuania, autism is not treated.
Right.
We use only behavioral therapy.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere in the world. In the United States, it's only been what? I introduced the term complex autism, right, which is treatable autism. So complex autism, I introduced the term about just 4 years ago. So it's very new. And I've done a lot of pioneering work, and I'm hoping to have the handbook for physicians and parents by the end of the year. I should have a handbook. So, it's going to be easily written handbook. And then there's going to be another book that's coming out that is my story, how I recovered Brian from autism. It's very, as you can see, it's very complicated. But yes, if the child has complex autism, then the child can be recovered. And we are going to talk about that tomorrow, yeah, definitely. But it's important to attend this lecture today because I'm not going to address borreliosis and whatnot again tomorrow. So I'm glad you're here. Okay, so what causes mitochondrial dysfunction? ATP deficiency, correct? So if you have no energy, the body cannot heal, the body cannot keep going. So this is, here's the mechanism. What do you get? You get fatigue, you get swelling, muscle stiffness, you get heart problems or cardiac insufficiency, and you're not recovering fast enough from exercise. Longer exercise recovery. Right? ATP is involved in a lot of enzyme reactions, as you see, 456, metabolic pathways, chemical reactions. There can be speech difficulties if there is mitochondrial dysfunction. Verbal dyspraxia we see in children and even in adults. And profound fatigue. Okay, there's a little bit more information about nagalase. Okay, it is a destructive enzyme. It degrades the extracellular matrix, and it weakens the immune system according to the mechanism I explained a little while back. Okay, it's important to maintain pH balance. Right? Because if your body is too acidic, then you're at a risk for cancer, toxicity, ammonia, brain toxicity. That can also cause mitochondrial dysfunction and, of course, fatigue. Okay. Some of the symptoms of SIBO. SIBO is what again? Small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. So gas, bloating, diarrhea, abdominal pain, food intolerances, B12 deficiency, and fat malabsorption becomes important. There is a specific diet that really helps with SIBO or helps you rule out SIBO. And that diet is called as FODMAPs. F for Frank, O, D as in David, M for Mary, A, P as in Peter, S. FODMAPs diet. And you can Google it. There is, it's pretty easily available. Okay. Now, this is my favorite part, one of my favorite parts. This is what you often find behind the walls. This is a real photograph. Patients were not aware that they had mold after, we had Superstorm Sandy in New Jersey. There was a lot of water damage. And, you have contractors who want to make fast money. They come, they'll just paint, they'll replace the plaster or the drywall, but they don't look behind the plaster. I don't know here, but most American homes have insulation. So you have, the framing, then you have the insulation, and then outside you have the siding, inside you have the plaster. You have the drywall. So in between, if the insulation gets wet, and that is not replaced because that is expensive to replace, contractors will leave it, and this is what happens. And one of my patients was buying a new house, and the home inspector, it's like, this is growing. There's literally mold and mushrooms growing, and these people are trying to sell the house. Like, okay, great. Okay, this is a very complex slide. Okay, let me give you a little bit of background. This is what exposure to mold can do to you. One in 4 people of the general population, all of us here, 1 in 4 is genetically susceptible to not being able to detoxify biotoxins and mold mycotoxins from your body. The liver just cannot do it. Okay? You have a genetic susceptibility. 1 in 4, approximately 24 to 28% of the general population in the world. And so as you can see, the patients who are not HLA susceptible, I still can't get this thing, but I know he explained it. Okay, never mind. So the patients that are not susceptible genetically, the body removes the toxins. Now, the patients who are susceptible, meaning who have the genetic type, this is what happens. This is a systemic inflammation that occurs all the way from stage 1 to stage 7, right? The biggest bottom line is that it affects your hypothalamus, your MSH, which is the king hormone, melanocyte-stimulating hormone, is greatly reduced. Like mine was nothing. Mine was negligible. It was less than 0.8, and it should be 35, for example. So what you see is sleep issues, chronic pain. Chronic pain is very sad. You see that a lot. Sorry?
Which one MSH? Alpha, beta?
Alpha. Okay. GI issues, prolonged illness, resistant staph, changes in adrenal fatigue, reduced sex hormones and reduced sex drive, and reduced antidiuretic hormone. Once again, frequency of urination you'll see. One symptom that happens in patients, right, when when they have this issue, everything we see here, is a lot of electric shocks in their hands. When you're touching a doorknob, you just get static. So that is the chloride molecules on your hand when you have reduced MSH and reduced ADH. So that is quite commonly seen. Even myself, every time I would touch doorknobs or any metallic surface, it would be like a sharp blue spark. Like, oh my God, what's happening? So I used to say, all right, maybe I just have static, I need lotion. But underlying, these were the problems. Very high inflammation. Okay. Many patients are very health conscious. Everybody likes to exercise. But when you have all of these issues, you have borreliosis, mold exposure, these are the important points to remember with exercise. That don't ever exercise to the point of exhaustion. It's not good. Oh, I did great. Now I'm feeling the burn. But that is not healthy for your body if you have Lyme. Your VO2 max and your lung capacity can be greatly reduced. Okay, so it's okay to do frequent exercise and mix it up. Do aerobic and anaerobic. Do some running, do some lifting, but not like hours at a time. Okay? It's very rare to find a Lyme literate physiotherapist. It's quite rare, or exercise therapist. So if you're trying to recondition from Lyme, just have small goals. Don't rush. Give me 1 second. I'm going to check on something. This is slide 103. So, okay, excellent.